Ms Legalista here. Welcome to the video. I'm going to be talking about Carlos Watson. He was someone who was trying to build a media and entertainment empire. That's exactly how I'm going to term him. Now, here's the thing. Last year, he was indicted. There was a complaint by the SEC. The Department of Justice is coming after him for fraud, basically. And we're going to dive into some of the details. And I think I may have even covered this last year. It's been so long, I don't even remember. This is like a year and a half ago. The company was called OZY Media or something like that. I actually was signed up to receive emails from them. I remember when they sent out the emails about Ivy Fest, this festival event that they were putting together. I mean, they were following I want to say the breadcrumbs that had been left behind from all of these other groups that were trying to do something similar where, they had their digital content that they put out, and then they had a live event, and you had your email list where you sent out this information to your subscribers. They were all doing the very same thing. Well, he wanted to join in on this. Unfortunately, it just is a problem. So we're going to take a look at this because it's getting ready to go to trial. I think the jury's being selected. We're at some point now. And this is one of those cases that I really want to follow because it is very intriguing. Everything from the amount of money to the fraud to the impersonating a YouTube employee, or I don't know what you want to call it, but there is a lot here. So I'm going to pull up this so that you can take a look at what I'm going to be going over in this particular video. I'm going to be talking about OZY Media, this press release that came out last year, because I want to bring you back up to speed before we jump into actually following what is going on with this case now and the trial that is getting ready to start. So it says here, OZY Media, I need to slow down. OZY Media and its founder, Carlos Watson, indicted in a years-long multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. And this is what I'm going to be going over in this video. And it's interesting, just some of the pointers, the things that we're going to be talking about, and the things that they choose to put in this press release to let people know about. So I'm going to go ahead, get started, grab a drink, some water, some coffee, a little snack, and I'm going to go through what they put out in this press release. All right. Says here an indictment was unsealed, and this was last year in federal court in Brooklyn, charging OZY Media Inc., which sort of went by this name of OZY, a media and entertainment company headquartered in Mountain View, California. I'll come back to that. And its founder and CEO, Carlos Watson, with conspiracy to commit securities fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud in connection with a scheme to defraud OZY's investors and lenders by making material misrepresentations about OZY's financial and business assets. Wow, this sounds a lot to me about what went on with Theranos. Remember Theranos? Go back and look at all of those videos that I did around that sort of after the fact. This sounds a whole lot like that, just in terms of what they're putting together here. I want to mention Mountain View, California, for a second, because remember how I talked about leaving behind crumb breads, everybody wanting to sort of do this thing and do the same thing. Part of that is situating yourself in the space that already has legitimacy and credibility. And how best do you do that? But go to the rooms where they already are. And so you set up shop in some place like Mountain View. Now, I don't know who decided to choose Mountain View as their headquarters, but I'm sure somebody was saying that's where we need to be. Let me just give you an update here. And if you go to Mountain View's website, you will see that even they tout the presence of some of these businesses there. Intuit, Accenture, Google, TikTok, Microsoft, LegalZoom, Waymo, Khan Academy, Live Nation. I just did a video on Live Nation. That ought to tell you what's going on in Mountain View, California. In any case, you have investors already in that space. So why not be in that space too if you're looking to get investors and build money, bring it in for your media and entertainment company. All right, let me go on here. It says Watson is also charged with aggravated identity theft. And we're going to hear a whole lot more about that as this moves forward, this whole identity theft thing. All right. Watson is also charged with aggravated identity theft for his role in the impersonation of multiple, not one, not two, multiple media company executives in communications with OZY's lenders and prospective investors in furtherance of the fraud scheme. So, in order to make these fraud schemes really stick, we're going to impersonate some people here. That is really a new sort of accusation. That's not something we hear about very often. He is facing a mandatory minimum sentence of 2 years imprisonment and a maximum sentence of 37 years imprisonment. That's a lot. Look, the government has made it clear that they are going after this sort of fraud where you're taking all of these millions of dollars from other people. Look at what happened to, Sam Bankman-Fried. Look at, again, what happened with Elizabeth Holmes with Theranos. It's just not going to be the Wild Wild West anymore. Watson's co-conspirators, his chief operating officer and chief of staff, these people previously pleaded guilty to charges relating to their roles in the scheme. So how does this really look for him if you've already got these other people pleading guilty? So once you have these people who have already said, hey, we're going to cooperate, or we are going to go ahead and plead guilty, things really don't look so good over here for this person who's still standing out here saying, I'm innocent and I'm going to go to trial. It's a really hard pull. Let's talk about the scheme. Okay, let's get into this scheme that was going on. As alleged in the indictment and court documents, I'm going to be going over those also. OZY is a media and entertainment company whose businesses include digital newsletters. Remember, I told you I was getting those things. I actually went back. I still have some up here. I'm going to show them to you. And now I've gotten off base. OZY is a media and entertainment company whose businesses include digital newsletters, television production, podcasts, and live events, the most prominent of which is a live festival known as OZY Fest. Watson founded OZY in 2012 and has served as the company's chief executive officer since inception. Between approximately 2018 and 2021, Watson and his co-conspirators orchestrated a scheme to defraud investors in and lenders to OZY of tens of millions of dollars through fraudulent misrepresentations and omissions about key aspects of OZY's business, including OZY's financial results, debts, and audience size. In addition, Watson and his co-conspirators lied to prospective investors about who else might be investing in OZY, the existence and size of acquisition offers received by OZY, because hey, all of a sudden you can look really good if a lot of people are interested in you, the existence and timing of Series C and Series D financing rounds by OZY, a little over my head there, and the existence in terms of OZY's business contracts, going so far as to direct OZY employees to create fake contracts with forged signatures to provide in due diligence. Oh, I don't even know what to say here. On multiple occasions, when faced with questions from lenders or potential investors, Watson and his co-conspirators assumed the identities of and impersonated actual media company executives to cover up their prior fraudulent misrepresentations. So here's what it sounds like. They created these fake contracts, created these fake documents, and now they have to have somebody attest to, yes, that was, yes, we're good. Yes, I signed that. That's my signature. So now you got to fake the whole person. All right, let's talk about the forged cable television contract and impersonation of media executive. So back in December 2019, Watson and his co-conspirators attempted to induce a bank to lend OZY money based on misrepresentations and omissions about OZY's business. Now, let me stop right here for a second because I want to be very clear about something. I have already read that they sum all of this up as, we do puffery. This is just puffery and bluffing. And that is something that's sort of allowed within the context of selling something, of putting something out there. You might say, you know what, we're the best at what we do. Well, that's puffery. You just, puffing your chest out and saying, yeah. Okay. This is not what's being alleged here. What's being alleged here is fraud. So people get so used to puffery that they take it way too far, and it's like an explode. The puff has exploded. Watson and his co-conspirators sought to secure the loan with anticipated revenues from a second season of an OZY television show. So they had something in mind there. But the contract between OZY and the show's cable network for the second season of the show was still under negotiation. To induce the bank to make the loan sooner, Watson directed OZY's then chief financial officer to send the bank a fake signed contract between OZY and the cable network purporting to be for the second season. When the then CFO refused, one of the other people, with Watson's approval, sent the fake contract, which contained terms favorable to OZY and a forged signature to the bank, copying the then CFO. Like if I'm the CFO, my resignation, I'm just going to send it out then. I'm just going to send it out then. You don't even want to be connect. Once you find out, it's time to part ways. It's like parting of the Red Sea. Later that day, the then CFO emailed Watson and Rao to say that she was resigning effective immediately. What I tell you. This is somebody who says, I'm not doing this. She explained, this is illegal. This is fraud. This is forging someone's signature with the intent of getting an advance from a publicly traded bank. She continued, to be crystal clear, what you see as a measured risk, I see as a felony. Wow. In subsequent months, Watson and his co-conspirators continued to attempt to induce the bank to lend OZY several $1 million based on misrepresentations and omissions, including regarding the expected revenue from the second season of the OZY television show. Now, during these discussions, the bank requested to speak to a representative of the cable network to conceal the lies about OZY's relationship with the cable network and the status in terms of their agreement. Rao, this employee, with Watson's approval, created a fake email address in the name of an actual executive of the cable network, which Rao used to impersonate the executive and communicate with the bank about the potential loan. This is just a lot. Let's talk about the attempted fraudulent investment and impersonation of another media executive. That's just round one. Let's get into round two now. From approximately November 2020 through February 2021, Watson and his co-conspirators, it is bothering me that his name is Watson, Watson and his co-conspirators attempted to induce a financial institution to invest up to $40 million in OZY by means of material misrepresentations and omissions regarding OZY's historical and projected financial results, debts, and business relationships. Had the full $45 million investment occurred as intended, $6 million of the $45 million would have been paid to Watson personally. As part of its due diligence process, the financial institution asked Watson and Rao to arrange a meeting with someone from a well-known online video service that Watson and his co-conspirators claimed had paid OZY nearly $6 million in licensing revenue for the Carlos Watson show. This was another misrepresentation. OZY was never paid by this online video service for OZY content because OZY did not, in fact, have any business relationship with the online video service. Watson and Rao agreed that Rao would impersonate a media executive at the online video service in communications with the financial institution. So on or about January 28, 2021, the government be getting these dates right? Rao, with Watson's agreement, created a fake email address in the name of the media executive, which he used to correspond with representatives of the financial institution. On or about February 2nd, 2021, Rao had a call with employees of the financial institution during which he impersonated a media executive from the online video service using a voice alteration application that he downloaded onto his cellular telephone to mask his voice during the call. This is too much. Like, you're working so hard. Like, think of all the work that you're having to do, all the hoops that you're having to jump through, the stuff that you're having to come up with to do wrong. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot for me. During the call, Watson was in the same room as Rao and texted Rao instructions about what to say and what not to say on the call. Shortly after the call, one of the employees of the financial institution contacted the actual media executive of the online video service, who confirmed that he had not been on the call and that the online video service had no role in the production of the Carlos Watson show. So, at that point, things fell apart, right? Like, we're done. We're done. When members of the financial institution later spoke with Watson, he falsely claimed that Rao had acted alone and as a result of a mental breakdown. The charges in the indictment, of course, are allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. But now you have all of the backstory there. That should all bring you up to speed in terms of what is going on as they pull this jury together and get ready to start this trial. All right, if that brings you up to speed, you're a little bit more informed, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Mwah. Peace.